ABC, Animal Birth Control. AR means anti-rabies. Anti-rabies vaccination basically. So ABCAR is a program which has been adopted across the country. This is not city-centric, it is certainly not home-centric, it is certainly not individual-centric like people like us who love dogs. No, this has been adopted across the country to manage, it's a scientific and humane management of the dog population of the country. Are we doing any human management, human population management, are we? Yeah? Did somebody say yeah? I don't see. We are not doing it in India. No one advises us, earlier days at least, I don't know, maybe you are too young, but I remember you would have ads saying you have 1 kid or 2 kids or 3 kids, yeah, whatever. The government would gently advise us. Now that's also stopped. Nobody is advising. We are all allowed to have as many kids as we want. And obviously I think we are having plenty by the traffic on the roads. But here anyway, we need to do our dog population management. So ABCAR, it's a scientific, very humane program. Okay, next slide please. Animals are sentient beings. What is sentient? Anyone? See, sentient means somebody who can feel pain, somebody who can feel pleasure. What do you think those two guys are sitting there and doing there? That little pug and the cat? They're generally relaxing on a bed and they're pretty comfortable. They don't want to sit down there. And I must share with you, those two little unruly brats belong to me. So they are happily sleeping. They refuse to sit on the floor because they enjoy the bed much more. It's more comfortable, obviously. So animals, all animals, these two are not any exception. Everyone likes to be comfortable, likes to enjoy themselves, okay, eat better food, stuff like that. And they feel pain. When you take a stone and hit a dog, it hurts. So he is a sentient being. He feels pleasure, he feels pain. Animals love life as much as we do. Anyone here who doesn't love life? Want to leave? Nobody. I don't want to leave. I want to hang on for a few more years. So animals are also like that. They want to live their lives. Whether it's a dog, Indian dog living on the streets, or it may be a pedigree living somewhere, if he is lucky in a good home or tied up in some corner, whatever may be, they still want to live life because that's an instinct with animals like it is with us. They have their own little world and they want to be left alone. If you ask any dog, he'll say, look, I don't want to be bothered with you guys. I have my own thing to do. I'd like to do my things. Okay, next one please. So, considering all these facts, in their wisdom, the Constitution and the, our forefathers who have created the Constitution have given number of rights to animals. Are you aware of this? Are you aware that animals also have rights? Yeah? I'm glad somebody lifted their hands. Otherwise, I'd have to put my head down in shame. I said, I've been operating in Hyderabad for 20 years and here this huge crowd of young people who say we don't know anything about animal rights. Like child rights, like women's rights, like human rights, animals also have been given a number of rights under the Constitution, and they thought it important enough to take it under the directive principle of the state policy. So it's a very important part. It's not like as if we are doing any animal a favor if you allow him his rights. Okay, it may be another issue that violation is taking place, like it's happening across so many other things in our society. You see child right abuse? Yes. You know about children's rights being abused? No. Yes, no. Either you guys are tired, or you don't like this talk, or you are thinking I'm a television that you just have to watch. What is it? I've given you 3 options, 1, 2 or 3. I'm not a television and I'm not an orator. I'm not comfortable looking at people who are all seriously looking up like this at me. Will you please give me some feedback? Please? Yes? No? Kuch to boliye. Okay. So, it is important enough for the Constitution to have taken it up and said, look, animals have rights and they have to be upheld. This is what the Constitution says. Okay, ma? Let's go to the next one. So, how are animal rights? See, Constitution will say 100 things. Constitution has given us also human rights, this right, that right, fundamental rights, so many rights, right? But then how do you uphold the rights? Anybody? How does one uphold a right? Only when you have a law that is upheld. If you don't have a law, people will keep violating and going ahead. If you don't have that signal there, you keep driving right down, won't you? If there is a signal, you stop. So similarly, even in animal rights, like everything else, we have laws governing animal rights. So there are a number of laws. I won't go into detail of laws because that is not our concern today. I'm just giving you a brief idea. You have PCA Act 1960. PCA means Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Then you have the Wildlife Act 1972 governing all wild animals. Then you have the IPC, you have the CPC, you have the municipal laws, you have all these different laws. You know, cow slaughter ban law. There's so many such laws and acts upholding the rights of animals. So please, next one please. So within all this, within the gambit of these laws, the animal birth control to manage the population of our Indian dogs living on the streets. Why do we need to manage a dog population? Why? At least that you answer. So many people put up their hands that you are scared. Kuch to bolo, because you guys are scared, because they scare you, they bark, they do this, they do, whatever may be the reasons, right? It is believed that you cannot have more than so much of dog population living free on the streets. If they're living in homes, if they have families, it's a different issue. But if they're living on the streets, there has to be some control. And to do that, the World Health Organization, WHO, I hope you've heard of WHO? Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. So, what has the WHO done? WHO is concerned with the health problems of the world. They're seized with every problem of the world. You haven't, anything to do with health across the world, WHO comes into the picture. Now, what happens in countries like ours, which are developing countries, where there's a huge population living in cities? We have excess number of dogs, we have excess number of human beings, we have excess amount of garbage, we have everything in excess. Because of this, the WHO had to study it up. We couldn't follow the model that is being done in the US or in the European countries or wherever. Not in that part of the world, because they don't have the same problems that we do. So WHO has studied up our side of the problems, and they've come out and said, look, we have a solution for your problem. So in lieu of that, the Abc&Ar program was suggested to the Indian government. So way back in 2001, I'm not talking about 2012, I'm not talking about 2013, I'm talking about 2001. The Indian government came out with a gazette notification. They brought a law saying that, look, you cannot, and informed all the municipalities that you cannot go about killing dogs. You have to follow the Abc&Ar program. So that is what the Indian government said. Now, why do you think the government did this? What was their intent? Was it to protect the dogs? Yeah? Okay. So it was both. You are absolutely right. It was even to protect the dogs from biting humans, because sometimes dogs do bite. And then dogs do get this terrible fatal disease called rabies. I hope all of you have heard of rabies. So rabies is this fatal disease that, it has no cure. If a person is bitten by a rabid dog and he does get rabies, then that's a one-way ticket. You just have to go up. There's no other way, right? So it's a very scary thing. So to protect humans against that, to protect the dogs also, they've said, okay, we are going to adopt this Abc&Ar program. And that's what has been done. So before you say, how can the government think more about dogs than us? Let's understand what the Indian dog story is all about. Why are there dogs on the street? I mentioned there, but does anyone know anything about it? Why do you have dogs on the street? They don't have shelter. Anybody else?
Because there's food, there's garbage everywhere.
Exactly, absolutely right. See, what happens is, wherever there is food, okay, there will be an animal. If you remove all dogs, and you still continue chucking all your garbage and not doing your garbage management, then you know what will happen? Which animal do you think will come to eat that food? Any ideas? Pigs are very big, they won't come. Rats. Rats are smart, small guys living underneath. They will come only after you get to bed. After sunset, they'll come out. They will consume the garbage that are out on the streets. But somebody will feed from those garbage bins. It's not going to be left alone there. Be sure, because there can be no vacuum in nature. If there is food, there will be an animal. If there is if there is more food, there will be more animals. It's a directly proportionate thing. This is something which has been studied, which has been researched, which has been documented. There's no ambiguity, there's no doubt about what I'm saying. It's all there. So you know where to check. Anybody wants to check any of these facts, where do you go? Google God. So he's there to answer all our questions. You go back and check. If there is food, there is an animal. And if you continue having all the food thrown here and there will be animals. So what happens is, okay, go to the next one. Who feeds the strays? Somebody here said we like dogs. Anybody? You like dogs? You like dogs? Anybody else likes dogs? Okay, every day how many times are you feeding your dogs out in your colony? Are you feeding? Are you feeding? Are you? Even I am not. I also don't go out. I love dogs. I enjoy knowing them. I may be playing with them, but I don't go and feed them. So where are they eating from? They are eating from our garbage bins. Look at that. Okay, Hyderabad may not be that bad. Dr. Vakil is here. He'll get mad at me. Where do you get this picture and yahan kyun dal diye? This may not be. I don't know. It may not be from Hyderabad. But the dogs are eating from there. There's enough food there to feed so many dogs. So dogs are that way, they have no problem. Once one dog eats, he'll move out. He'll allow another dog to come in. He has no issues. He's not going to guard the food and then say, you don't come and eat my garbage. They allow each other. So because of this, there are more and more dogs. In spite of so many people, I assure you, in Hyderabad city, there is a huge population like me who love dogs. But still, very few people go out to really feed them. Still, they're all surviving. Next one. So earlier, what were we doing before 2001? What did we do to control dog population? Okay, I will tell you. You guys may have been very young by then. What we would do, the municipalities would be catching the dogs and killing them. Is that right, Dr. Vakil? Earlier, before 2001, because it was an obligation for every municipal corporation. Incidentally, even today it is obligatory to control population. That is still JHMC's obligation. So what they would do, they'd go and come and catch all the dogs, take them away and kill them. And I remember so many times, we'll see all the sweet dogs in a colony going away or gone, and you'll cry and make a big scene, but there was nothing we could do because they'd simply take them away and put them to sleep. So that was what was being done. And for how many years did we do that? For more than 100 years, we've been killing dogs. What happened? Did that problem get solved? Did the problem get solved? How can you say the problem is not solved? We are still discussing that problem today. We are still discussing dog problem today, means the problem didn't get solved. So many years, 100 years, so much money, effort, time was spent, was done, everything, but the problem was not solved. So when problems don't get solved, smart people sit down and think. They say, what is happening? Why didn't this problem get solved? So that is how the Indian government decided to adopt the Abc&Ar program, not for any other reason. They said, look, the dog population is not able to do anything about it. I will tell you something. This dog issue is such that if somebody gives you a magic wand, let us say somebody who doesn't like dogs, somebody will come and say, okay, this is a magic wand, you can decide whatever you want, ek baar ho jayega. So you will say, okay, I'm sick and tired of these dogs. So one wish would be, remove all the dogs in this country at one go. There will not be a single dog living on the streets. Let's say we do that. So what happens after that? After that, any ideas? Cats. Yeah. Number one, there will be a lot of cats. But then cats don't bite you, they don't chase you. I will tell you what will happen. Within 1 week, you will have dogs coming in from Pakistan, dogs coming in from Bangladesh, dogs coming in from China. They will come across our borders because dogs don't have borders. Only thing they tell each other is, hey, look, there's a lot of food available in this part of the world. Let's move. So they'll all come sauntering in. They will be much below your radar level, so nobody will be able to make out the dogs are walking in. They'll all happily walk in and they will find your food. Believe me, they'll find your garbage, they'll find your food. So this, there is no doubt about. I'm not kidding, there are no jokes about it. This is a serious problem that will happen. So that is the reason ABCR is such an important thing for us.
Why is the problem dogs come from other countries?
We don't have any problem. I'm only telling you, you will have more dogs. Your problem won't get solved. I'm not against Pakistani dogs. I love Pakistani dogs also. I may have a problem about Pakistani terrorists, but not about Pakistani dogs. Next one. So, this solution was not thought up by me or by Amala or by Menaka or not by any of us. It was thought up by the WHO. So they said, look, we will, for all developing countries where we have huge population, we have a lot of social issues, lot of things, lot of problems, you know, they come out with the problem. Next one, please. What is this program all about? I'm making it sound so, you know, mysterious. What is this program about? Animal birth control. Animal birth control is a very simple thing. What we don't do in humans, which I seriously believe which we should be doing in humans. Anyway, my belief letter part, we do for dogs. The JHMC goes, catches all your dogs. I mean, whatever dogs they can catch. They'll catch the dogs, bring them to the animal birth control centers. JHMC as on date have 5 centers. Okay, they bring them to the center depending on which zone they belong to, and that is what happens. They sterilize the dog. They sterilize all males and females. No more pups. That is it. The dog population as far as that particular dog is concerned is period, done. No more puppies. Once they are sterilized, what we do is they are given anti-rabies shots. So with that what happens? The dog is protected against rabies. How does rabies come in the first place? Only when another dog, another rabid dog picks on either a human being or another dog, rabies is not passed on from each other. If you go and touch a rabid dog like this, you will not get rabies. It has to bite and the virus has to enter our blood flow. Only then the rabies virus will pass on from one animal to another. So once you protect them against rabies, they are safe dogs, so we don't need to be worried about rabies. Even if they playfully come and catch your hand and bite. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Did you renovate? Yeah.
Okay, doesn't matter, ask.
No, because it's relevant to this. How long does this rabies vaccine is effective?
1 year. 1 year. So we do have vaccines nowadays which are valid up to 3 years, doctor? Yeah, 2 years.
No, nowadays we have this one.
What you are using is for 1 year. But it is available in the market, no?
Yeah, no.
So 1 year it is there. We have to revaccinate them. That is why so many NGOs like Blue Cross, like PFA, we keep going and doing revaccination drives. In different areas we do that. Okay. So then what we do, once they are given their rabies shots, their ear is notched while the dog is still under anesthesia. That means most of you know how a dog's ear is like this in a triangle. So on the top it is notched. A small piece is cut off. So from a distance if you see a dog like that and he is having one ear, one pointed ear and one flat ear like this, you know the dog is protected against rabies and sterilized. From a distance itself you can make out. So to be able to identify, the ear notching is done. And then the most important part, the dog is then released back in the same area that he is caught from. So now when Dr. Vakil comes and picks up 10 dogs from IIIT, he is not going to sterilize them and take them home. Sorry, those dogs are yours. Those dogs are yours. And if anyone has a problem about the dogs, the problem is also yours. So if the dogs are yours and the problem is yours, where does the solution need to come from? From whom? Arey, come on, very smart guys. Somebody tell me. Dogs bhi aapka hai, problem bhi aapka hai, so who has to give the solution? You obviously. Directors. Just today somebody was telling me, yes, in India, especially in rural areas, we expect the government to come and do everything. Everything. I don't say it's only rural areas, even in urban areas. You look at something there, maybe it's a small bit of garbage, right next to your house, you look and say, let's call Dr. Vakil. Actually, Dr. Vakil has nothing to do with garbage. I'm just taking his name because he's here. Let's call Dr. Vakil. What is this garbage doing here? Why haven't they picked it up? This is the problem with GHMC. This is the problem with, the state, the country. Arey, you can also pick it up and do something with it, right? Why? Why don't we also participate? It is our country. It is our responsibility, our problem also. Yeah, GHMC may be obligated, but it is our responsibility also. So, those dogs will come right back to IIIT. Because remember my friends, the same analogy that I told you about this country and the dogs coming in from Pakistan and Bangladesh applies to IIIT also. If you remove all the dogs from IIIT, they will still come slowly sauntering in from Madhapur, from Gachibowli, from wherever else they are living around. They'll say, Acha, this is a nice place here. Let's move in. There is food. There is, nice campus around. And there are some students who play with us also move in. They will certainly move in. So that's not a solution for you at all. Asking municipality to remove the dogs is no solution. It will not work. So that is the reason the dogs come back into the same area. Next one, please. So once the dogs go through this ABC&R, that is a basic program. Very simple. Catch the dog, operate him, protect him from rabies, ear notch, release back into the same area. 5 points are done to a dog from the moment they catch to that moment of release. There are 5 things. So it's a very simple program. Now, what happens when you do this? Let us say if 10 of your dogs, let us say you have 10 dogs in the campus. I don't know how many you have. I'm just giving you an example. If you have 10 dogs and all your 10 dogs are caught, sterilized, protected and released back, what will happen? You won't have that lot. That basket lot will not be there. They look very cute to me, but nevertheless it's a huge responsibility. No more pups. Because they're all sterilized. Now they lose all love interests. Most of you may feel very sorry for your dogs, but the fact will be once they're sterilized, the guys are not interested in the girls and the girls are not interested in the guys. That is reality. So what is going to happen? They'll be quietly living in their own areas. No more running around, no more, whatever games they play, everything is over, period, no more pups. Second thing, what is going to happen? From a distance when you look at a dog with a ear notched, you can be sure you don't have to be worried about rabies. Though it is very relevant for me to tell you, I'll tell you briefly, maybe later doctor will be interested in sharing with you. After the Abc&Ar program was adopted by GHMC, we've had no rabies last year. Am I correct? Yeah. Not a single case of rabies death in the city. That's a huge thing. Earlier we would every year have at least so many people dying of rabies in a terrible way, very sad and terrible manner. So we don't have that. Number of dog bites come down. Why do dog bites come down? Like I said, dogs have lost all interest in each other. They are still living in their own areas, happy to do their own thing. So obviously the fights, the dog bites, everything comes down. Then they are calm and they become friendly. See, when there is 1 female and 4 males, what happens? All the males are interested in the female, then kya hota hai? They fight. That's what the dogs do. And when you go in between their fights, what happens? They bite you. So, if you remove that love interest from the dog's mind, no more fights, no more biting, no more dog bites. That's what this program does for you. Then, dogs by nature are territorial. Are you aware of this or you're not? Okay, there were 2, 3, 4 hands which said that we have dogs at home. How many has? Okay, you tell me, does your dog guard your own house? He does? Or does he allow anyone to come in and say, okay, no problem, walk in? No? He stops people from entering your house? At least he comes out and barks and say, okay, somebody's at the door. Dogs do that because you don't need to train. Have you trained your dog? Did you tell him that whenever somebody comes, you have to go and bark? Did you tell him that? We haven't told them. They do that because dogs by nature are territorial. Once he knows, see, if he is living inside a home, he decides, okay, this is my home, so this is my territory. If he is living outside, then again he marks his territory. How do dogs mark their territory? Okay, Pravalika will tell you that.
They spray urine.
They go and mark all the trees and poles. Haven't you seen it?
Spray the urine.
They are marking their territory. They are saying, okay, this pole belongs to me, this pole belongs to me, this tree belongs to me. But then all trees and all poles can't belong to all dogs. So, anyway, she'll tell you that in a little more detail. Because they are territorial, they will not allow a new dog to enter and stay in their own territory. So, if a dog is passing by, maybe if it's a friendly dog, he'll allow. But if that guy says, no, no, I also want to come and stay here and I also want to use the same pole and the same tree that you are using, this dog will not allow. He'll chase him out. The females also do the same thing. They'll chase them out. They'll say, no, this area belongs to us, so we are going to be living here, we don't want any new dogs. So with that, what happens is, you don't have new dogs. In the way I was mentioning, that if Pakistani dogs come, our dogs won't keep quiet. They'll chase them right across the border and say, get lost. This place is only meant for Indian dogs, right? So they are territorial in nature. We go to the next one. Okay, now this seems to be a great program. Do you agree? Again, everyone's quiet. You guys are all too tired. You have a very tough session, is it? Like daily routine is tough on you guys? How many classes do you have per day?
She has a question. She has a question.
Sure.
You were talking about the splitting off of the ear.
Yeah.
I want to know, is it done for sterilization or rabies?
Sterilization. Actually both. I'll tell you. See, sterilized dogs are all given protection against rabies.
For 1 year.
For 1 year.
So every time suppose the dog gets a little more sniffing is done to his ear?
No. We can't do that. Then at a point, then he'll no longer have a ear.
Yeah.
No, that's not done. But I'm glad you thought about it.
Good question.
It's a good question and you thought about it. I'm so happy.
She has a question.
Yeah.
Out of all the dogs in city, how many dogs are going to sterilize?
Acha, out of the dog, how many we have already done?
So how many you are going to do? Like,
How many we are going to do? It's not how many we are going to do, how many we are going to do. Okay? I'll answer that question. Let's quickly finish this. See, I want to tell you about some problems in this program. Because if this program is so great and it is like, the best program in the world, then how come we still have a problem in the city? Isn't that a relevant question that you should ask? Right? Okay, I'm asking your questions also because you all are too tired to ask. Now I'll answer your question also. What is happening with this program is, see, I told you this first gazette notification came in 2001. None of you have heard about it. I told you GHMC has adopted it from how many years, doctor? Since 2009. Nobody has heard about it. So what do you expect? How can any program succeed when the citizens don't even know about it? You tell me that. How?
So what is citizens' role in this success? Like DHMC is catching those dogs,
Huh.
sterilizing them and giving anti-rabies
Hmm.
shots. Citizens are not involved in the program. So how is our involvement changing the success rate of the program?
Okay, it's a beautiful question. I'm very happy that you did ask that question. See, the entire question of success of any program, in fact, not just this program, I'm telling you every single government program, if you want it to succeed, first thing is all of us should feel the ownership. Okay, I'm not saying if they're doing, what is that, whatever Rajiv Gandhi, blah, 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 that program was happening, that all of us should go and work there to understand that program and feel that ownership. No, but I'm saying every relevant government program must be felt owned by all of us. Like for instance, I'll give you a simple example. Your own colony. Where do you live? You live in Gachibowli itself. Do you have dogs in your colony?
Yes.
How many approximately?
10.
Around 10. Okay. So now what happens is, what the GHMC is doing is, they are doing it in their own way. They send their vans, they have their people, they come, they use nets, they catch the dog, they take them away. Now, when they come to your colony, whether they are able to catch one dog, because they don't really know. They are just walking into your colony, they are coming and whatever dogs they see. Out of that, I can assure you only the friendly dogs will get caught easily. So maybe they catch 2 dogs, 3 dogs, 4 dogs or 5 dogs. Okay, they take them away. They take them away, do all this and then bring them back. But then there are still 5 dogs in your colony which are unsterilized. How does Dr. Vakil know about them? That is where our role comes in. See, suppose you are there. If you do a little survey, what is it that you need to do? You just need to take a walk around the colony. Just go and see how many dogs there are. Where do you find dogs? Early in the morning, you'll find them near your garbage. Or they're moving around. In the night, they're out there, generally relaxing, barking, enjoying themselves. So if you just go out and count the number of dogs, you know. And I can assure you, every colony will have somebody like us who like dogs, who are not afraid of them, who don't mind interacting with them. Now, if somebody can interact, put a leash around that dog and hand them over, Dr. Vakil, ye hai. There are 3 more dogs here, please take them also and get them sterilized. So then what happens? Then all your 10 dogs can get sterilized and your entire colony at least will be free from the dog problem. You agree with me?
So you mentioned about the wish of eliminating all the dogs, one shot and Pakistani dogs walking in. Now you sterilize them in your colony and they don't have their next generation and they die. Same thing happens. Instead of the problem which you mentioned happening now, it will happen after whatever is the lifetime of that dog, right?
See, a lifetime of an Indian dog is anywhere between 7 to 10 years. Okay. And again, a very good question. You are saying what will happen in 10 years? In 10 years time, if we don't manage our garbage, because I will tell you one thing, if you do garbage management, now I am telling you get all your dogs sterilized. I will give you one more option. You remove all garbage from your streets. Suppose in your own colony, okay, remove all garbage from the streets. That means you do your proper garbage management, you still won't have dogs. You won't have dogs. Pakistan dogs won't come, Gachibowli dogs won't come, no other dog will come because first of all there is no food.
That is something what we have done here. We have created protected area for keeping our garbage.
Okay.
And with 7-8 feet mesh so that dogs do not walk in.
At Gachibowli? Sorry, at IIIT? Oh, okay.
And but they are dog lovers, so
They are
dogs
feeding
will
them.
always be fed. If it is not garbage, somebody else will feed them for sure.
It's a free country. People are allowed to feed animals.
And also,
In fact, that is a right given by, again, that is a right given by the government to us, that any of us wants to go and feed dogs, we are allowed to feed. You want to feed cats, you are allowed to feed. You want to feed...
It was listed as fundamental response duty.
That's a duty. Duty is that you must be compassionate. And if you say, I want to feed animals, no one can stop you. No one can stop you. So, this is a free country. Now, maybe among so many plus points, we do have a couple of minus points also. But I'm only giving you an example. See, if you personally ask me, I'll say it is impossible to do garbage management that at that scale in a city like us, where you still have huge population coming into the cities. And as we see, unless there is this huge development happening in rural areas, this influx into cities will continue. And as long as the influx is continuing, you have wild dogs, you have so many people living on the streets. Haven't we all seen? They're literally living on the streets, entire families. How will you manage their garbage? So that is where the food will come. So I don't think that's a practical solution. But to me, my thinking always, my personal belief has been this. And not only my personal belief, the belief of the government and animal welfare people and all have been one thing, is that think global. You think about all the problems, but act local. So I would tell each and every one of you that look, you please first of all take care of your own colonies. Anyone interested in becoming a colony caretaker, put up a hand, talk to me, we'll get you a colony caretaker card. It's a simple thing. You'll be doing great service, not only to the dogs, but also to your colony, other colony people, right? So that is one part of it. Coming back to IIIT. IIIT, again, as long as there is food, there will be there. So what is the next option? You make sure there are no more pups. You make sure they are not, fighting amidst each other because of sterilization and all that. That will get taken care of. So what else is left? You will have friendly dogs on the campus who are not really a threat. So that is what is going to eventually happen. Because I don't see any other solution. That is what is going to happen. If you want your colonies also to be taken care like that, you can do it. Individual colonies, don't bother about the entire city. Each and everyone takes care of their own colony. We are, we no longer have a dog problem in the city. Okay, one more thing I think, slide.
I think with this question, how people are related to the GHMC thing. When we call is
We will come to that also. We'll just finish up this and. So what is it that you people, now what I told you is this. I said, what can we do? No, like you were rightly asking, that is between the GHMC and the dog. So what is my role? What you can do is, first of all, you can be part of the solution. If you think there is a problem, if If I'm okay with my dogs, then I don't have a problem. But nevertheless, in the interest of the dog, we still do this. Then second thing is, become a colony caretaker. Colony caretaker doesn't entail, 2 hours of work every day or 4 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours or nothing like that. Colony caretaker only means being alert to your dogs in your own colony. That's it. Nothing more than that. Be alert, interact. See, if you are lucky enough to be in the West Zone, then you have Dr. Vakil, who is very, very, very interactive with the public. Anytime anyone has a problem, he is there, he comes and solves the problem. He personally comes, he handles the problem, so you can sort this matter out. If you have, if you can't be a colony caretaker yourself and you think you are busy or you have some other issues, encourage somebody else in your colony to take it up. That will sort out problems. Anyway, this is last thing, garbage management. Garbage management is the crux of all problems. You forget about dogs for a moment. I am telling you, garbage management is the crux of our lives. Because what kind of lives are we leading? You maintain a beautiful house inside, you come inside your house, you have nicely, we decorate, we do so many things, we keep a beautiful home. You walk out of the house, you will see garbage here, garbage there. It's a quality of life. You tell me, how many of you tell me, when we have foreigners coming in or NRIs coming into India, are we not ashamed of our cities? Are you, or you don't feel anything? You do, you don't feel? Everywhere you have garbage, everywhere you have plastic. Plastic, the entire country is reeling in plastic. So I feel very bad. I say, look, how is this going on? Why don't we do something about our garbage? So, garbage management, again, I am not saying that you must wear your gloves and start picking up garbage every day. No. But be alert to it. Be socially responsible. Talk to people. Discuss this. These are all social problems which needs social engagement from every citizen of this country. It can't be done otherwise. Okay, you are bored, I got it. No? Or you're just sleeping, woke up very early. Okay, just kidding. Is it the last slide?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Is it sterilization against animal rights?
No, not at all. Not at all. All my pets, dogs, cats, all of them are sterilized. I would say actually being kind to them. Because when you restrain animals in small areas, like let's say, lot of people tell me this, lot of people, when I tell them, female cooperation karao, many people don't have an issue. Yeah, we need to do it, otherwise, you start having pups at home, we'll get it done. Get your male sterilized. What? Why should I get my male sterilized? He's going to feel so bad, he's going to miss out so much fun in life. It is not, animals, it's not fun. Females come into heat only twice in a year. And I tell you, if you don't get your male dog sterilized, even if he is a pet dog, you're actually being unkind. Because when females are in heat, this guy also wants to go out. Do you allow him out? Do you? Anyone leaves their pet dogs, the male says, I want to go off, I'll come after 2 days, will you allow him? We don't. Because we are afraid that he'll get into a fight, something will happen. We don't. So that's being very unkind. Because his hormones are telling him, you get out and go and find that female. And you are telling him you can't get out. So it's actually being kind to your animal. There's nothing wrong, it's not against animal rights. A dog is healthy and happy, underline that word, after sterilization.